Oh, yes. Yes.
Hey guys, welcome to Podcast vs Player episode 54. I'm Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who, instead of the John, now calls his toilet the gym. That way it sounds better when he says he's been to the gym 5 times a day. It's only Dan.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I thought you'd like that.
That was a good one, that was good.
It was quite good. I do actually have a joke which I do want to share with your ears, because I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Okay, go on.
Right. Gandhi walked barefoot most of the time, which produced an impressive set of calluses on his feet. He also ate very little, which made him rather frail, and with his odd diet, he suffered from bad breath. This made him a super callous fragile mystic hexed by halitosis.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That sounds like something from fucking Whose Line Is It Anyway?
It sounds amazing. That's what it sounds.
Pretty good.
Right, do you want some news?
Yeah, I'll have some bloody news. Go on.
First up, the PlayStation 4 is getting a 1080p version of God of War III Remastered.
Okay.
On Friday, Sony announced that 2010 action game God of War 3 is coming to the PlayStation 4. God of War 3 Remastered is an updated version of the PlayStation 3 game, which will feature 1080p graphics. It also marks the first God of War game to be released for PlayStation 4, and as an owner of the original PS3 version, it does look pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I will say, however, that this marks the release of yet another remaster. So that's... I can't even think how many that is, but it's also rumoured the Uncharted trilogy, which we called a long time ago, is actually also coming out for PS4.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's... this, again, like you just said, this is something we picked up on a while ago. Remastering seems to be the new kind of... the big thing, really. You know, people will...
Yeah.
They'll, as long as they know that they can still make money from old games, they'll remaster it. You know, they put a few $100,000 into sprucing something up, maybe not even that. Make a few million off it. Why the fuck not? I mean, as long as they're games that are worth doing it for.
Yeah, I don't want like fucking Tetris remastered.
That's been remastered
retarded
10,000 times anyway. So
no, but not for like. It's usually like on iPhone and Android and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't want a PS4 version of Tetris.
Well, what I'd prefer, I think, would be, rather than remastering something that was out 2 years ago, something that was out 15 years ago. You know, go back and do Perfect Dark Zero. You know, something like that. You know, old classic games where you just think, oh my god, a new version. Like the Abe's Odyssey thing. Perfect. You know,
that's a good example.
So many people,
PS1.
Yeah, exactly. They absolutely loved the first Abe's Odyssey. And now they've remastered, I mean, literally built it from the ground up and made this...
It's really fucking good. I got it on PS Plus actually for free, and it's just... Mate, it's so worth buying. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, that's it, but that's what I want to see when it comes to remastered. That
Yeah, something you can tell.
Well, maybe not just
I mean, God of War 3 still looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah, but, you know, just games that, at the time, they were sort of the games to go to. You know, like Theme Hospital. Can you imagine if they went back and redid Theme Hospital and did a remastered version of that?
I'd actually be pretty down for that.
It would be amazing.
To be fair, I kind of thought it was going that way when Origin gave it away a few months ago.
What, some sort of preemptive, getting people interested in it again?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, you know, Theme Hospital, all the old sort of Bullfrog games, they're all really sort of well done.
Poor looking.
Well, they all look like shite, granted, but...
Well, saying that though, they tried Syndicate Wars. That didn't go well at all.
Well, I think it depends on who does it as well. You know, because I mean, like Worms is obviously the best example. You know, Worms has been redone a billion times, but it's still the what is it, Ocean 17?
I think
yeah,
so, yeah.
It's still the same team that develops it, which means that it's got the same. You know, although you know, there's been a couple of hit and misses, like the 3D ones. Overall, you know,
dire.
Yeah, they're still pretty good. You know, and people can go, oh, new Worms, brilliant. So if they went back and redid some of the old games, I would much prefer that rather than something that is just popular at the moment. You know, like going back and redoing the Iron Man game. No one cares.
No one's going to give a shit. We've got, if you want your Iron Man dose, there's the Marvel MMO. You've obviously got Disney Infinity 2.0.
Mark, okay, so that was about 4 minutes into the podcast and we got a Disney Infinity mention. Okay.
Oh, shut up.
Okay, carry on.
Well, name me another good game that you can play as Iron Man.
Lego.
Name me another one. Exactly. Oh, actually, Marvel vs. Capcom, if you like fighting games. That's actually pretty good. You know, it's good. Yeah. Anyway, Conker's Bad Fur Day gets a sequel.
What?
Of sorts. Oh. The Conker the Squirrel focused content for Project Spark that was announced last year will be released on April 23rd. Developer Team Dakota announced today. When it was revealed at last year's E3, it was unclear exactly what kind of Conker content the game would receive. Turns out there will be both the expected tools for Spark players to make their own Conker games and a new playable story called Conker's Big Reunion. Big Reunion is described as, quote, an ongoing game series, and is the first episode which will be available on April 23rd. It's set 10 years after Conker's Bad Fur Day and finds Conker in need of reconnecting with his old friends. As you can imagine, things don't go according to plan. This will involve, in part, familiar characters and challenges and some kind of crossover with fellow Spark content champions, quests and crossovers.
Boo!
Yep. All this content will be available for Project Spark on Xbox One and PC, and I think it's free. I'm not sure. Pricing hasn't been announced, but after saying that, I'm pretty sure it won't be, seen as Project Spark itself is free.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you'll have to pay for
it.
Which I won't.
Well, no, I don't think it's a big enough hit in order to even... I mean, even if it's just buying DLC or something to download for a free game, I'd much rather than just... Like, I'm pretty sure we said this when E3 was around, when they had Conker and Project Spark. You know, we said, is this going to be something that's going to be introduced to it? Are they, you know, hinting that the developers or something are making a Conker game? Something along those lines. And, you know, I mean, the potential's there for people to just go back and remake level by level the original game, which is fine. You know, more than welcome to go and do that. Will it have the story? Will it have the voice acting? Will it have the dialogue? No.
Yeah, it's got all the game assets. So that's voices, levels, items, everything.
Yeah, and is this going to be sweary, brutal, rapey as the original?
I imagine it says it's going to be as crude as the original.
No, bollocks. I don't believe that for a second. If they actually had the idea to say, oh, you know, this is something that people used to play years ago and they loved its, you know, sort of crass humour, and it was dead violent, and, you know, sort of in that sort of South Park kind of dialogue, you know, where it's toilet humour, really. Therefore, we'll introduce it into a sandbox version. No, just if you know people like it, make a sequel, remaster it.
Yeah, make the fucking
remaster
game.
it. If you want to do that, if you just want to make the exact same thing again, do it, and I will buy it.
Yeah, Dan would probably buy an Xbox One.
I definitely would. I absolutely love Conker. I just think it's a brilliant game, and I would definitely go out and buy one. Not immediately, but you know, when it's a couple £100 maybe, then I'd think about it. But that would just be the only reason I'd be getting it.
It's a sad day, really, when developers tease something like this. I mean, they did it with Banjo-Kazooie, where they teased a HD version of Banjo, and it's just coming soon, and everyone was like going fucking mental, and then it was fucking nuts and bolts, and it was a bag of shit. And then they've done exactly the same with this, where at E3 they showed you Conker, and everyone was like, yeah, and then it's a Project Spark, and everyone was like, no. And I can't see why companies and developers have to tease public and literally get them so excited and then literally instantly just crush the fucking dreams. Just come out and say, no, we're not making it.
Yeah, or at least just to say, just before you all get too excited, this isn't a new one, it's not a remastered one, this is going to be content for Spark. And people go, oh, I'm not interested then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally... I mean, obviously that's not exciting to them. And I don't know if they get anything. I mean, websites do it where they'll like bait you with descriptions and titles, and then you'll click it, and it's literally nothing what you actually want to fucking
absolutely
see.
Fucking winds me up.
Yeah, but obviously every click they get money. That's why they do it. But for something like E3, nobody's paid to go there. They're not making money off it, so I don't see the fucking point.
It's the hype. It's always the hype.
But it's hype for like 10 seconds, if that.
But I mean, it's just.
And by that time, nobody's had time to tweet anything or fucking put anything on Facebook to hype other people. It's just ridiculous.
It's just flashing the mascot, really. It's just saying, remember this guy? Okay, we're going to be doing stuff with him. Let's see how it goes. And if there's a big reception for it, maybe they'll think, well, people are still interested in Conker. Maybe we'll give him another go.
Oh, look at Deadpool. I still think they leaked their own footage.
Oh, absolutely.
To test
really
the waters. And that might be what they're going to do with Conker. See if this is a cheap way of getting Conker out there. And then if enough people buy it and they're interested and people are making stuff using Project Spark, they might turn around and go, you know what, they do actually want a Conker game.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But I'm pretty sure it would have already been made in Minecraft, and people will just recreate all their favourite things in anything that gives them the option to. So yeah. I'd like to think that they, personally, I'd like to think that they'd teased it because the people who made Project Spark were saying we're going to be picking up Conker and we're going to make a Conker game, a new one, a remake, whatever. Rather than we're just going to sort of shoehorn it into something we've already got that people aren't particularly interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually deleted, but I had Project Spark, and it's all right. It's free, you can't complain. And some people make a lot of really cool stuff on it, but I just don't see the fucking point of it. To be fair, there's not that much of a market for people who are making their own games. Are going to earn money off it, which they don't with Project Spark. They're going to just fucking download the Unity engine and just use that and make much better.
I don't know. I mean, people spend hundreds of hours making Minecraft adventure maps and stuff. They don't get paid for that. They just do it because either they want to or they can do, or they got the time to.
I suppose so, but I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Star Wars Battlefront to debut next month. Platforms confirmed? Yes, they are. Electronic Arts will offer more details about Star Wars Battlefront 3 next month during the Star Wars celebration in Anaheim, California. I've never heard of that place, Dan.
I've never heard of that either, Callum.
Now we have Geography Rules.
No, Star Wars Battlefront Rules. I think you'll find.
Yeah, to be fair. I don't care where it is. This isn't altogether surprising as EA's name showed up on the show schedule earlier this week. At the time, EA wouldn't say why it was attending the event, but now we know. Quote, "We could not think of a better or more appropriate place to debut the game officially for the first time than a premiere event that celebrates the Star Wars universe and the legions of fans who have fallen in love with it," EA said. Apart from a brief teaser that we saw, how long ago was it? Quite a fucking bit ago,
I don't know, because I'm pretty sure it was E3 last year. Because it was literally about 15 seconds. It was just an AT-AT foot with a snowspeeder crashing, and I jizzed violently.
Yeah, I think I blacked out until today. To be honest. But that's pretty much all we've seen, other than a couple of concept art pieces. And EA have kept pretty quiet about it. However, this is good news, Dan, because that means next month we will get to see it. Probably not gameplay.
No,
It's going to be a full-on CGI. Using the
I
game
don't think
engine.
So. I think if they've got any fucking sense anyway, they'll get people out and they'll say, "These are a couple of the guys that have been working on it. We've got one map, Hoth. We've already shown you that, so we're not going to give anything else away. Here's a 10-minute video with them playing, showing off some of the ground troops, some of the vehicles, some of the aircraft. If they do that, I'll pre-order it that day."
Well, to be fair, it makes sense to show us something because it's out in December.
I don't think they'd have anything else to gain. They showed 15 seconds of CGI footage, and people have lost their minds about it. They
it's probably the most anticipated game. One of the most anticipated
there's Metal Gear,
games.
there's Mortal Kombat. Looking forward to both of those, but pre-order wise, there's only one that I pre-order, and that would be Battlefront. I'm sorry, but
that would be Conker's DLC.
Fuck off, Project Spark. That is the only one I would stab several people to get to.
Can you imagine if they reveal it and it's like a really fucking kick-ass gameplay video? Maybe watching them play it, and then at the end they go, "I know this was made in Project Spark."
Yeah.
I'd probably re-download it. But no, so next month we shall find something out. However, the main story this week isn't that big because we haven't got any information on it.
Alright.
However, Nintendo has kind of revealed the successor to the Wii U and maybe the 3DS. Codenamed Nintendo NX. Has Nintendo killed the Wii U?
NX?
That's
okay,
the
well,
codename NX.
Here's a little tip, a little hint for you. NX is actually a designation used on Starfleet spaceships as a prototype. So whenever a new spaceship is made, a prototype version is the NX, whatever the registration number is. So I like that. As long as that's what they're referring to, brilliant.
Probably not.
I don't know what the Star Trek market's like in Japan.
It might stand for Nintendo Extreme.
Oh no, we're not in the 80s. You can't have extreme in anything anymore.
Nintendo rocked the games industry on Tuesday morning with the announcement that it will make mobile apps and partner with DENA. Don't know what that stands for. Dana.
Somewhere, yeah.
Dina. Somewhere. And while that's pretty big, the company also revealed it's working on a new gaming platform. In a presentation, Chief Executive Officer Satoru Iwata didn't say much about what his new gaming console really is. Quote, as proof that Nintendo maintains strong enthusiasm for the dedicated gaming system business, let me confirm that Nintendo is currently developing a dedicated game platform with a brand new concept under the development codename NX, said Iwata. It is too early to elaborate on the details of this project, but we hope to share more information with you next year. Now, during the announcement, they had a picture of the 3DS and the Wii U. Now, the Wii U's not selling because everyone's fucking stupid. And Nintendo's stupid for calling the Wii U, but that's a different fucking story. 3DS is selling, but it's pretty old now. They've turned around a couple of variations on the 3DS, like the XL and whatnot. So, with them finally going into the mobile platform, this is my prediction, Dan. My guess is the NX will be a hybrid system that brings together Nintendo's handheld and home consoles into one. That's my prediction, because the Wii U, they started putting DS games onto the Nintendo Wii store. So the touchpad would be the bottom screen and the TV was the top screen of the DS. So I think they're going to make because of games like Super Smash Bros, they had to have two different developers to make two versions of the same game. One for the 3DS, one for the Wii U. If you had a Wii U and a 3DS and you had the copies of both games, you could use your 3DS as a controller for the Wii U. So you could play, and you could play against each other and whatnot. So I think they're like kind of testing the waters, and then eventually, whatever this fucking new console is, will basically be a 3DS.
So it'd be
and
a
Wii U.
portable console then, really?
Basically, yeah. So you can, maybe the controller's more like a phone or a phablet, but with controls as well as a touchscreen, kind of like the touchpad but smaller. And then you can walk around, play it on the bus or something, and then when you get home you can play your shit on
so
the TV.
It'll be a slightly better Vita then, really? Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. A Vita that actually operates as a home console as well.
That's pretty
my
interesting
prediction,
one.
Dan.
I mean, the fact that they'd, how long's the Wii U been out now? 3 years? 2 years? Yeah, I mean, they're already saying, look, we're not going to beat the PS4, the Xbox One for sheer power and hardware. Maybe it's time, we fill the gap between the Wii U and the console launches. Now we can come out, now we've seen what they're capable of, do something new, and try to, reach the people on a, multi-platform market, because that's obviously what people enjoy. But, maybe make it a bit more powerful, but
It needs to be on par with.
If it's going to be portable, it won't be. It can't be.
Well, the Vita was just nearly as powerful as the PS3.
Yeah, but so's the Wii U.
Yeah, but that's why that didn't sell, because they called it a Wii fucking U. The Wii U's actually more powerful than the PS3.
Maybe if they changed the name for it, the NX would probably be a good thing, because people would assume it'd be something brand new rather than just a periphery.
That's what. Yeah, they can't call it the Wii 3.
The Wii Me.
The Wii Me.
Yeah.
Well, the Wii.
Fuck it, why not?
Let's call it the Wii. I'd buy it. What you got? Got a Wii. Have you got any Wii in? Well, no, they can't. They need to get step away from the Wii brand. I can see why they did it with the Wii U. The Wii was massively successful. It's like one of the most like popular and most best-selling consoles ever, and then they tried to carry that on with the Wii U, but it didn't work. People who had a Wii thought it was just a peripheral, so they never bought it. People who knew what it was didn't buy it because it was called a Wii. They just need to give it like stick with the NX. That's fine. Looks cool.
Yeah. You probably will.
I'll buy it because it's Nintendo, and there'll be a new Zelda.
Well, yeah, that's probably what it comes down to.
But I hope they don't release it. I hope they announce it next year, release it the year after.
Well, that way they can at least bleed as much as they can out of the Wii U.
Well, I mean, there's still games that's still yet to be released for the Wii U, like big games like Zelda and whatnot. They'll probably try and squeeze another the Mario Party 10's out soon. There'll be a couple of fucking new Mario games probably. So I reckon they'll squeeze as much as they can whilst they can, and then move on to. They'll probably literally just do a Microsoft. As soon as the 360's out, they'll just cut the original Xbox altogether, which is what they did, and I think that's what they'll do.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's one of the only companies really that has such a universal backlog of games, really, because everything sort of ties in, and you can use. You can play original like SNES games and stuff, and then obviously 3DS is now being brought into it as well. So this sort of the concept that they've got of just having, no matter what console you buy at whatever point, you can still play all your games on them. Or if you just want to buy the newest version, you can still play everything that we've ever released on this new one. That is great. Yeah. People want that.
It makes sense, and the fact that you can use Wii peripherals on the Wii U also saved money. And to be fair, if it is a hybrid, that's also going to save you money in the long run, because you're not going to have to buy two different things.
It could work.
If you wanted to play, to be fair, just thinking about it, Jesus Christ, if it was a hybrid, therefore a handheld and a home console, there'd be a Pokemon game for it.
Interesting.
Which means we'd actually have a home console.
Yeah, not including the N64, of course. No, Stadium, you idiot.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
because you could play your game,
Stadium, sorry,
your game on that.
You could put it on. Yeah, that wasn't the same though. That was literally just playing a Game Boy game on there.
It was
kinda. I already had a Game Boy Color.
Well, that was it. I didn't. You see, so I was just like, oh my god, this is supposed to be green. These trees. I can't believe it.
I mean, Colosseum and the XD, I can't remember what it was called now, Gales of Darkness or something like that, on the GameCube, were actually proper Pokemon RPGs, but they did change a lot. Like, the Pokemon had like a dark aura on them, and you had to break the aura to capture them. It was very, very technically confusing, but they were good games. I really enjoyed them, and they look like Final Fantasy type games. They were quite cool. But other than that, there's no home console Pokemon.
Fingers crossed.
Change. Hopefully. Anyway, speaking of nothing to do with Pokemon, what's coming up on the channel, mister?
I don't know. Whatever we do. We've had a bit of a setback this week.
Wolf Among Us. Yeah, we actually didn't think we'd get this podcast done this week because I've had no internet whatsoever. Barring my phone. But that's sorted now. If you are thinking of getting your internet with TalkTalk, they're doing a really good deal at the moment where you get fuck all for fuck all. You pay between £25 upwards a month, and you get no internet.
Yeah, it sounds like a rip-roaring deal.
Yeah, I'd do it straight away if I was you. I have sorted it out now though. Ironically, having a new router sent out, which should arrive this week because my router is broke, they said. And my girlfriend boiled the kettle without putting any water in it the other day, which caused a power cut. And then the router worked. It jump started it. Even though I'd unplugged it, turned it off at the mains, waited, did everything that I was meant to. They then told me to do exactly what I'd already done, so I did it again, didn't work. And then the power cut jump-started it back to life.
Well done to Zoe for being such an idiot.
Yeah, if she wasn't a moron, this podcast would not be happening right now.
What a terrible shame that would be.
know, yeah. You can send all your cards and flowers to Zoe at. But no, so at least that's one thing sorted. I'm thinking some more Wolf Among Us, Dan.
Definitely.
Some more James Bond.
Absolutely.
Can you believe it?
Probably not.
You probably can't believe it, or you don't want to do it.
Both, I guess. You can't believe the fact that I don't want to do it.
How about Talk to Dan?
Oh, yes.
So basically anything revolving you.
Of course. Before we go though, Callum, there's one thing that I want you to try and guess with all your special powers. I downloaded a song today on Rocksmith 2014 edition.
It's 2015 now, Dan.
Well, but the game isn't. So what I want you to do is I want you to guess what the song I downloaded was.
Do I have any hints?
I can't give you any point of reference.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Was it Zombie by the Cranberries?
It was Zombie by the Cranberries.
Shit me.
I bring this up only because Callum's amazing band in college, Point of Reference, covered it, and it was the best.
Covered it in shit.
Yeah, I know, right? It was like the first time I actually ever played a guitar, and you taught me like the intro chords or something like that, and I was so happy.
To be fair though, as shit as it was, that was such a good experience.
It was brilliant.
We actually went to recording studios, and thanks to Dan, and
oh yeah,
we actually got to see how music is meant to be made, and then we ruined everything. I remember being there till 12:15 in the morning, at night, midnight, eating at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And just fucking monging out, and then our friend Rich's nan came to pick us up.
I think I left for that. I don't remember going home with someone's gran.
Oh, it might have just been. I know it was definitely me, Rich, and Billy Apple.
Oh God!
His
name
was
forgot he was
Ashley.
Drummer, yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah. Well, Lecture Adam was the first drummer, wasn't he?
No, I think I do remember going in because it was Jim on the guitar. And he borrowed that Les Paul from that guy who was in there.
Yeah. Which he jizzed all over.
Yeah. I think I would have done if it was me now. Billy Apple on the drums, Wig on guitar, on bass, and then you screaming.
Because I didn't want to be there. Just let me out.
I know for a fact that I still have that cover somewhere. So I'm going to try and dig it out, and if I can, I'm going to put it on the channel for you. So
if you can, this will be the end of Podcast vs. Player. We will be hunted.
I found it a couple of years ago, and I can't remember where it was. So if it comes up again, I'll put it up there so people can see how musical it used to be. It's probably better than the fucking songs that were made in my band that was recorded on someone's phone.
Do not tell us the name of that band, Dan. We will get flagged.
Fine.
It's a racial slur.
It's not. It was just a play on words. That's all. There was nothing racist about it. How dare you?
It pretty much was. On that note,
yeah.
You bigot.
Shut up.
No, it wasn't. It was just a name that.
Let's just put it
unintentionally sounded wrong.
No, it didn't. It's just that was the name of the band, and if you thought anything other than it, then it's your problem. You're the racist, not us. I'm like the least racist person. Thanks for the backup there.
Silence says it all.
Jesus Christ. I'm not racist.
No,
don't sue me.
we're not. I'm definitely not.
Wow.
How much of this do you think we're going to have to cut?
Probably not, it's fine.
Right, on that note, say goodbye, Dan.
Bye.
Oh, yes. Yes.